Hi, everybody. This is Lee. And lately, it's getting to the point where if you throw a rock, you hit a protester. And the protester jumping off everywhere on the continental United States, in Mexico, around the world. people, people are just protesting, and for good reasons. There was a protest or a rally or something regarding Planned Parenthood, which is a major provider of women's health care services. The government or Medicaid is a major funder of Planned Parenthood services and women's health care, particularly for low income women. And so, for our government to threaten or to take steps to defund Planned Parenthood means taking away specific services for women in terms of reproductive health. And so these are services that are not often available in certain communities where Planned Parenthood is actually the main provider of very basic healthcare services for women. And so naturally, women are willing to fight against that. They are willing to fight to safeguard their health and their access to healthcare services and to make decisions about their reproductive family planning and their rights over to their own bodies and to make self-determination of what they want to happen with their bodies. And so they're taking to the streets, and apparently they'll take to the streets again and again and again. There's events planned. This was over this past weekend, and then there's a general strike on February 17th, and then there's another women's march on March 8th. And so women are willing to set it off to fight off the oppression being forced by a minor party that happened to win the Electoral College, and then immediately started forcing very repressive legislation without a clear mandate to do so. And so this is the response. For instance, there was a women's march on January 21st. Women showed up in force in a display of power, not just in Washington, D.C., about 500,000, but then all around the nation. People kept saying, well, that's a pro-Hillary Clinton, anti-Trump rally. It's the Democratic elite. It's paid protesters. But, and maybe some were. But that was Washington, D.C. In places like Middle America and Iowa, where Hillary Clinton at the most was able to get 3,000 people to get out of bed and come see what she had to say in Des Moines, Iowa. That was the most she could gather. However, Des Moines, Iowa also participated in the Women's March, and this time 26,000 people showed up. So we really can't say for sure that maybe some people were pro Hillary Clinton, but about 23,000, a clear majority in Des Moines, Iowa at least, were marching in support of women. All women, not just one woman. So you can look at it that way. And then there were protests all around the world, as far away as New Zealand, Dublin, Ireland, places like that. And I don't think we can really say for sure that those women that were marching, about 3 million all around the world, had no reason to do so. Obviously, they were there for a reason. And I think they'll keep marching until that reason is clearly understood by those who refuse to listen to reason. But anyway, about 500 people showed up in an effort to protest against Planned Parenthood and to demand the defunding of Planned Parenthood, which is a direct attack on women's health care. And so in response, at certain places encountering that 500 or less that showed up to defund Planned Parenthood, about 5,000 of women and the men who love them and want them to be healthy about 5,000 showed up to defend Planned Parenthood. And so we see, in just these displays that women are willing to take to the streets. They are willing to strike. They are willing to protest. And they are willing to fight for their healthcare services and their rights to have the services that they feel that they need in order to be healthy and productive members of society. And so this is what we're seeing. It's going to continue to happen, I believe. I've done previous videos of these types of strikes being used to stop wars, to stop repressive government regimes, to stop harsh economic systems, striking women. It has worked in the past. I'm going back in the good old days, and apparently people have read LYSISTRATA. They've also read The Handmaid's Tale, and so they know which way things can turn if people aren't vigilant. These are works of fiction, but in real life, we've seen the power of women can change a nation, such as Liberia. 14 years of war, the women went on strike to stop the war, and then they elected a female head of state to be in charge of Liberia. And so we haven't gotten to that place yet. Hopefully, maybe we will soon. But in the meantime, women are willing to fight for their health care, for education for their children, for clean environments, for their communities, things like this. And so expect more, I believe. Good luck.